Good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is Sunday, January the 18th. We are midway, a little bit past midway in the month of this new year, this new month. Amazing things to happen coming soon. My name is Miriam Kareem. I'm so happy to have everybody here back after our boot camp so we can learn how to grow our businesses, get charged and ready to go. I am super, super excited for what our training is going to be for today. Take these few minutes if you have not already to message your team members and anyone that you can think of that will benefit from this call. But first, I want a quick trip to the newbie corner. So we were just chatting a minute ago. Coach Marcus was mentioning how important it is to make an event. If anybody that probably should not have been there, probably should have been me. But I came anyway. And it was so interesting because after my mother passed away, I was we weren't really expecting my dad to go right after her. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, gee, now if something happens, how am I gonna make the boot camp? I'm serious, you guys. I am dead serious. I was just like, I'm gonna be there anyway. I mean, they'll just have to understand, you know, I'll be okay. And I think that a lot of times we we look at certain things and then we're upset that we didn't get there, we weren't there, or don't miss these, don't miss these, do not miss these boot camps. There's information that's shared there. The vibe in the room is totally different than here online. Even though we vibe, we try, but it's so, so, so different. It's so amazing when you are in the room with people that want to see you win. You feel that. You see that. You can have side conversations with people that can give you advice that you're not going to maybe not get on a Zoom. I'm just keeping it real. So you definitely want to get to these events. Don't miss it. And I know everybody couldn't come. That's a decision. My decision was to be there regardless. And I'm so happy that I came. I wouldn't have traded it for anything. But that being said, I'd like to introduce you all to our teacher tonight, Coach Will Zanders. He is a multiple seven-figure earner in the network marketing world, a seven-figure earner at our Green Organics company at Heart and Body Naturals, and our first six-figure earner at Goldesana, an amazing teacher. It's like he's got like probably a dictionary of tricks or a dictionary of skills and things, of combinations of things, and he always brings the fire, brings it to us so that we can get our businesses to where they need to be. He gives 120%, if not that. Coach Marcus too. So you all please get your blue pens ready. Give your undivided attention to Coach Will Zanders. Are you available, sir?
I am available, Miriam. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that kind introduction. And again, yeah, the fact that you made it to the event, the fact that Coach Charlotte Whitaker makes it to events, the fact that people have had truly traumatic things happen in their families and still somehow dig deep. That's the reason why we keep doing it. I'm gonna be frank. I was talking to our CEO and owner of the company, Paula Scarcella, prior to the event, um, and just kind of discussing with her, what's going to be the company's role in the future about events. And I honestly, it was going to be my last one. I'm gonna just tell you, I always say that, but I told Paula that, and she was like, "Will, you've done more than enough. If people don't get it, they just don't get it." But I'm gonna be honest, seeing you there, you in particular, after all you went through to go there, and to see how people were impacted by the event, and the audios, and just being around each other and learning and growing together. And people are, Lynette and Derek had me on a three-way call today with somebody they met in Vegas. People are really using the things that they learned to build their businesses. I said, all right, we're gonna do one more, but I made that decision 99.99% based on you coming there and just how you carried so much for you and your family. and still made it because I'm gonna tell you, if I was in that situation, I don't know if I would have handled it with that amount of strength and dignity that you did to continue to be a servant-driven leader. So that's that, and y'all can all thank Miriam. If y'all do make it to the next event, I don't know if this is the last one or not, but we got at least one more in the tank, and that is a lot of a huge amount of that is just. And Miriam didn't know that, by the way. She's just finding that out. But that was all her. Because if she don't quit and stop, how I'm gonna do that? You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. So thank you, Miriam, for that, and people owe you a huge gratitude for the events we have in the future. So thank you. And and Charlotte is that person for me prior to as well. She's just, they all two. That's the rocks right there, Marcus, Charlotte, and Miriam. They keep it going when some days we don't feel like keeping going. So thank you for that, because it's easy to motivate yourself at the beginning when you first get involved in the company, because you have some big goals and some big dreams, and you want the big house, you want the big cars, you want your family taken care of, you want to go all around the world. Once you've done all those things and you're like, all right, I think I'm good. You have to continually find the motivation to continue to do what you do, and your reasons why list, a lot of it is other people. So that's kind of where we're at with that. So just a couple quick updates. I do not have the dates yet for the next event. It will be at least 6 months from now, like at least, so you do not have to scramble or anything. We did it 4 months out last time. People still couldn't figure it out. We'll give it 6 months, and we'll see if that's enough time for people to get it figured out. This event will go back to our traditional format, at least for this one. I really had to pray a lot about this, just because how I function and what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to really do more for people. And the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. So I'm going to just hope that God's good with that. But we will go back to our Friday night meet and greet for this next event in several months. And then we're going to keep the 2-day format. Everybody loved the 2-day format. It didn't feel rushed. We got to get out a little bit early. It wasn't all trying to cram everything in. So we're going to keep the Saturday, Sunday format for the 2-day training event. And then we are going to bring back a more robust recognition program. The way we would normally do recognition is normally a lot bigger than what we did this time, but that is going to be up to y'all. That's going to be up to y'all to see how hard you want to go. We're going to be doing recognition based on the amount you've earned, be it 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000. That is going to be way more valuable to you to focus on the income that comes into your home for your family than even the ranks of emerald or ruby or diamond. Okay, I'm just being honest with you. The ranks are cool, but I have seen so many people plug into what we're doing, come to events, hit the ranks of diamond, this, that, or third, and totally disconnect from what we got going on, because getting that rank made them think like they knew enough or knew everything or could handle it on their own. And now I can see them on Facebook all the time. Oh, y'all pray for me. Oh, this thing's going so terrible. All I need, they ain't sponsoring nobody. And I see the back offices for most people. So I look and I see what's not happening. It would be a very, very embarrassing thing if I pulled up a list of all the diamonds we've ever had from GoDesign and HBN combined, and I looked at that list and I saw how many of them sponsored even 2 people last month. Okay? So just because you get a rank, sometimes it's giving people this false sense of security, like my business is solid. I don't have to do nothing. And that's crazy, because I'm pretty sure I make the most of anyone on our team. And I don't even operate that way. I still stay plugged into what's going on. I was on Coach Marcus's Facebook Live earlier, learning things I already knew. And then the odd part was, I learned something that I didn't know. So there's always something new for you to learn. That doesn't mean you're going to change the way you do business, but it just means that it's very, very difficult for people to win at this game not being plugged in. Okay, so I could do some camera settings over here. This is going to be very difficult for them to do that. Now, that being said, I got a message from Facebook earlier today from a 6-figure earner who has at least 2 or 3 6-figure earners in their team, and they are not plugged in. They just think they came to boot, they think they got to figure it out, right? Because they're making good money. They messaged me today, Will, I don't know what to do. and this is like at least the third message I've got like this, all right, in the last 2 days. Will, the Nova coffee is so expensive. People are saying it's reformulated. Why would the company not? Now, for those of y'all who are plugged in, did we or did we not go through a very logical sequence of what coffee prices around the world? We put all of the data so that you can research it in the Facebook Messenger groups. We talked about it on the Zooms, right? We did a Facebook Live in the chat to let everybody know this is what it is. And we even talked about how to make the coffee cheaper. We talked about the best way to buy the coffee in retail. They knew none of this. So they're going crazy. Their team is jumping on them, beating them up. They're not getting no sales. And so I just took the time out of my day, which I didn't want to do, which was to do everything I already did and do it over again just for them, because they are a team leader, and they admitted, they were like, man, you're right, bro. We should have been plugged in. That's my bad. I'm sorry. And I'm not gonna say their names. There's a couple of people. I'm not gonna say their names. But that's how it happens. All right. That's how it goes down. Okay. Also, with the event, the cities that people are voting on the most, and the people that get to vote are the people who attended the event in person. Everybody gets a vote. But the places that are, some people have been commenting in the group, some people have been messaging me. But the two places we have so far are Dallas and Atlanta, are the two places we're looking at. We got a surprisingly large number of votes for San Antonio, which I have not been to since it's been a very long time. I would not mind if it's in San Antonio, simply because if we time it right, I don't know if the basketball season will still be going on. I hope so. I have no idea. I would actually move the event earlier just so I could bring everybody to go to a Spurs game so we can see Victor Wembanyama and see what the hype's all about, honestly. That would be fun. But that being said, it's looking like Dallas or Atlanta right now. And I think Atlanta has a slight lead. And that is fair because Atlanta has a ton of people. But there are people who don't live in Dallas who are still voting for Dallas. So I will look at the numbers the rest of this week, and we'll see what it is. And it'll be one of those two places. And it'll be really cool because in February, I'm going to be in Dallas anyway, so we'll see if the Dallas team can put something together. We'll see what they got. I got to be in Louisiana anyway in February for Dallas. So since I'm already in Louisiana, it's not that big a deal for me to hop on over to Dallas to see if they want to put something together. We'll see what Dallas got. We'll see. We'll see. In March, I have to be in Atlanta, and because I have to be in Atlanta in March anyway for a podcast that I'm doing. I'm letting you know, Dallas, Atlanta is already setting something up for the day that I'm gonna be after the podcast. Atlanta's already planning, they're already scheming. Atlanta's like, we are not waiting for Dallas. So we'll see what the Dallas folks, the Texas teams put together for February, and I'll see them in February, and I will see the Atlanta teams in March, and we'll make a decision at that time. We'll make a decision. We'll see what's going on. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Oh, this came into the mail today. Thank goodness. I've been waiting on this for 3 days. This is Coach Marcus's book. It's got the blur. I don't want it to be blurred. Maybe I need to put it next to me. Why is it blurring the book? There we go. There, I was gonna hold it right there. All right, from bankrupt to better living. That's Coach Marcus's book. I want to be very still because I don't want it to blur out again like that. All right, so that's the book right there. Please get it. It just came in today, so I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I will definitely have that read by tomorrow. Very, very, very excited about this book. I love the cover. I love the font. I feel like Coach Marcus' wife has something to do with this, because I don't know if he's that artistically inclined. I feel like it might have been Mrs. Jones that got this cover design lined up. The font looks amazing, and I love the part in the back that says, "Get the keys to go from broke to bossed up." I absolutely love it. See, she gave input on the cover. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. This cover was too slick, man. It's too good. And just for people who don't know, who may be on a call, Coach Marcus just made another $1 million in network marketing. This is just with HBN. He had already made over $1 million combined with HBN and GoDaddy. But what a lot of people don't know is that in his career with this last million, or not last, but the latest million, he's made over $5 million in his network marketing career, which is awesome. So before we get into the training tonight, I just want you to just imagine. You don't have to close your eyes or nothing like that, but just imagine Imagine if you had made $5 million in network marketing commissions in a relatively, it took years, but a relatively short amount of time. Would you be able to pay off your house? Just put a yes in the chat. Would you be able to pay off your house and not have no mortgage if you had $5 million? I'm just curious. Would you? Would you? Would you be able to pay off your cars, plural, and buy the cars you want? $100,000 cars, $200,000 cars. Could you pay those cars off with $200,000, 300,000, 400,000 of your 5 million? Could you pay off the cars too? Could you take care of the tuition and savings and investments for your kids with the leftovers from $5 million? There is nowhere in the world you can't buy a house that's very nice and pay it off for $5 million. It's very, you know what I'm saying? So when you get a chance to learn from somebody like Coach Marcus, live at the events, but also on Zoom on a weekly basis, you probably want to tune in. If you're not on those calls and not because you're recruiting or building a business, it's just rare to have somebody who's made that type of money in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, and they're literally giving you the keys to the game over and over and over again. And it's just weird that I guess a lot of people know better. I don't know. I guess a lot of people who've never touched $1 million know better than someone who's made over $5 million for his family. And 99% of that was done while he was working a full-time job. Full-time. So the book is on Amazon, From Bankrupt to Better Living. I highly recommend it. I'm gonna be reading it tonight into tomorrow, and I'll give a review for that one and Derek's book as well on Tuesday. I got Derek's book. I was able to start Derek's Just Let Go. Okay, Derek Jamal. These filters is killing me. Okay, super excited about that. I haven't finished Derek's yet, but I was able to start it because I got it first, and so that's that. All right, well, let's dive into. Oh, let's find some training. All right. Now, normally after we have an event, oh, and shout out to Missy McCallum as well. I'm not talking about my book tonight at all, but shout out to Missy. She got her book in the mail and posted it on Facebook. So thank you so much. I really appreciated that. That was super sweet, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. All right. Now, normally what we do when we come back from an event, the first call after the event is going to be an event recap. So I'm going to, in the next 15 minutes, give you a recap for all the people who weren't there or didn't watch online. And for the people who were there, this would be a good refresher for you about the stuff we covered there, at least the highlights, the stuff that really matters. And then if we have time left, I may talk about some tweaks we made to the lead program, which are really cool that we talked about. And also going to do a quick recap. People have asked me for this all week. A quick recap of the rules to winning at the slot machines. All right. Now, I'm not going to say who asked for this. It was just a training I decided to do last minute because we were in Vegas and I knew people were going to be at the casino gambling. I knew it. I just knew it because we're in Vegas. I mean, so I did not want them to just be there. I remember last time people on the slots and they were sad because they were losing and like, they didn't expect to win. So I made sure that I put something together for them. And our team, I was so proud. I was really proud of this. Yeah, Coach Marcus just said it. Yeah, people were sending me their payout receipts and jackpot winnings and pictures. I'm like, man, y'all are killing it. And our team, as far as my last count, is up over $20,000 in profit. That's profit over 20,000. They didn't spend 20 and make 20. No, that's $20,000 in profit. By the time the last few people left Vegas to go back home. So that was really cool. And if we have time at the end, I'm going to cover just those rules real quick. It was like, yes, it works at any casino. Yes, because the same manufacturers, the same big manufacturers make the games for everywhere. So if you go to a casino in Vegas and you go to a casino in Biloxi, you're going to see the same games. Like, don't y'all always see the Buffalo Stampede games? How many people always, those have been hot for like 5 years. Yeah, Shauna was virtual. She got the rules and she won because she was awesome. So Shauna says good luck with that. But we'll talk about that at the end of this call. But you always see those Buffalo games. You always see the triple. There was a run, not recently, but a couple of years ago, where you always saw the triple diamond games, the triple diamond slot. They were everywhere. no matter what casino you went to anywhere in the country. So yes, these work literally everywhere at any casino because the manufacturers who makes these games and programs these games is all the same companies, right? It's the same little core companies. And we'll do all right. Let me get to it because hopefully I can get to that. I just don't want you. And I'm gonna do the full class. I gave y'all about half the information. I'm gonna do a full class at some point, probably tomorrow. But I wanted to you don't need all 20 rules. You can just get like the 10 or 11 that I gave you, and you can do really, really well. You do not need the other rules at all. The other rules that we give are the ones that we did not cover in Vegas that I'll probably cover tomorrow, maybe. Those rules just make it happen faster. You do not need them at all. I just want to be very clear about that. You have most of what you know. All right. Now, uh, highlights for the stuff. Highlights. Knowledge without action leads to self-delusion. You can know everything. You can watch every training. You can nod your head on every Zoom, but until action is applied, the knowledge becomes a lie that you tell yourself about progress. Okay. This is not a product business. It's not a compensation plan business. Our real product is people, and this is a leadership development business, period. Okay. And a thing we'll add on to that is once you find a way to build the business, I highly recommend you stick with that. And Tiara just made a great point. She said, can we learn one way of doing things and just stick with that? And the answer is yes. And I highly recommend you do. The tricky part is when, for example, I'm gonna give you 3 things that I do every day. This is just me. I'm looking at my daily routine list right now. I'm gonna text my leads every single day. All right, I got that down here. I'm going to message people on Facebook, okay, every single day. So it's 3 and 10. All right. Then I added to it yesterday. I'm going to ask the coffee questions to 5 people on Facebook every single day. I'm asking 5 coffee questions. And now I'm experimenting with making the first coffee question an AI video because I love the AI videos. And I'm gonna and I can just use that same video and I'm gonna test out what's better, the first one, direct message or AI. And I can tell you for the people who are working leads, put a 1 in the chat. If you are working our lead program with freeleadclub.com, put a 1 in the chat. If you are, the new conversion loop system works better with text. I've tested it with AI videos. It does not work better with AI videos. It works out better with the text messages that we posted in the conversion loop training earlier. And we'll talk about that in that group. All right. That's just for the people who are working our lead program. If you're not, totally cool. Don't need to do that. But if you do want to work cold leads online, message me and we'll get you hooked up. All right. But that's just part of my daily routine. If I'm working from home and I don't plan on going out into the wide world, I'm going to be texting leads, asking coffee questions, and I'm going to be messaging people on Facebook. Okay. That's what I'm going to do. Now, some people, like Travis, I think, recruited a new gentleman. I know he did, named Lee. Lee's super awesome out of New Orleans. Lee doesn't have Facebook and apparently is very, very Facebook averse. He don't like it. He don't have it. He don't want it. So if I just stuck with one way of doing things, we would lose great builders like that. When I first joined this industry, Facebook, I think, had just come out or was just getting popular. I didn't have it, didn't want it, didn't care. If that's the only way that I would have been able to learn, I would have never got my foot right in this industry. So it's important that while we focus on doing things a certain way, like Tiara made that great point, we also have to make sure that we do expose our team and especially new team members to various ways of doing things so that they can pick a way that fits in their comfort zone. Because if you want to really feel confident, do something you're comfortable doing. If you want to feel confident, you got to feel that comfort that I know how to do this. I'm good with this. I'm good at this, or I'm going to be really good at this. It's a comfort thing. I'm not confident ice skating because I'm not comfortable on them blades on that ice. I'm just not comfortable. Okay. But so there's no confidence there. So that's why we talk about different ways of doing things. Social media, this leads that, in person, buttons, t-shirts. We just want people to have enough ways of doing things so that you can pick 1 or 2 ways that you're comfortable with. If you're comfortable with it, you'll be confident with it. And if you're confident, you'll do it enough to get results. But for my routine, I don't really deviate away from the way I do stuff 80% of the time. I may try some new things 10% of the time, maybe, to see if that works, just so I can teach it and say, hey, is this better for you than what we're doing? And give y'all some options that we've tested out in real life. But other than that, no, this is what I'm doing for the next 90 days, and I'm not looking to the left or the right. I'm dialed in and locked in. Okay. So our real product is people, and we have to understand mentally people's comfort zone and things like that. Everybody talks about finding people to talk to, signing up the right number of people, but the real question is who are you actually looking for? And at this event, we define who you're looking for as the perfect prospect. Now, the perfect prospect is not going to be the smartest person. It's not going to necessarily be the most motivated person. It's not going to be the most excited person. The perfect prospect is going to be the right person at the right time in their life. That's the people who join. Okay, I was doing a call with Lynette earlier, and the gentleman we were on a call with, he wasn't at high noon. He was at about 11:55. All right, so we booked another call with him tomorrow to answer some questions. Tomorrow he might be at high noon, but he was at about 11:55 a.m. Okay, we're only looking for people who are at high noon because those people are ready to buy a product or join the business or both right then at that time. So you got to have the right timing, and you never know that unless you're talking to a lot of people or communicating with a lot of people. Timing is going to beat talent. Timing is going to beat intelligence. Timing is going to beat enthusiasm. Your job is not to convince people. Your job is to recognize timing, the timing of the individual. And the only way you know that is if you talk to them. Okay. So when I say you're in the leadership development business, your job is simple, but it's not easy. It's to get people in as customers and distributors, keep them in, and move them forward up the pay plan. Okay, that's leadership. Most people fail because they don't join. That's number one. All right. But even the people that do join, a lot of them fail because no one showed them how to progress. And that's your job. All right. Now we're going to address why top earners typically can't teach. Okay. Top earners a lot of times have made money in the past. Okay. And because they made money in the past, they get a platform in the present. And that can be dangerous. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. That can be dangerous because at some point, they may not get those same results that they had in the past because the game changes. And because the network marketing game changes, as leaders and top earners, we have to change and evolve and grow. Okay. So if you're a top earner who made a bunch of money in the past and the industry's $10,000 a month earners are a dime a dozen, they might be a 3%er, and a 3%er means there's something about them. They're like really good looking or really talented or really charismatic or really funny, or they got guts of steel. Nobody can outwork them. They just gonna figure it out no matter what. But it's nothing that they can actually teach, okay? They're relying on non-transferable skills. These are skills that they either were born with or that they developed that they cannot transfer those skills to people. They just can't. Okay. And that is why you'll hear them say things like, I just worked hard. I talked to a ton of people. I was consistent. That may be true, but it's not teachable. There's not a skill or a system attached to it. So top earners are typically 3% personalities. That's why they make a bunch of money in the past. They'll make some money in the present, but it'll dry up because there's no duplication, because they didn't need a launch strategy. They didn't need the hot market. They didn't need a strategy of how to launch. They didn't need a 6-step onboarding system. They didn't need a clear path of learning. They didn't need events. They didn't need anything. They just Elvis Presley, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, King Kong. They just rush it, right? Beginners and non-3%ers need a launch strategy. They need events. They need training. They need books. They need videos. They need support. They need structured onboarding. Okay, there's certain things they need, and that's why systems matter more than stories if you want to be great. Okay. Now, people all learn, decide, and act differently. Some people are relationship driven, very, very important. Some people are results driven. Some people are stability driven, which is strange. Some people are logic or information driven. If you teach everybody the same way, you're going to lose most of them because you got the blue personality types, the red, the green, and the yellows, and they all value something different. So as leaders, we have to do our best to talk a little bit to each color personality type on the call to make sure there's value for all the calls. Well, Will, why are you talking about the event on the call? Because the events are fun. Because blue personality types like myself love to travel and meet and hug our people and party with our people. This is true. We really do. Okay. However, Will, how come you talking about we're going to have a bigger recognition program at the next event? Because red personality types like myself love to be recognized for things we do if it's worth being recognized. We really, really do. Will, how come you talking about casinos and stuff? Because red personality types love to compete. The blue personality types love to have fun and gamble. The red personality types like making money. The green personality types are intrigued. Will, do you mean to tell me that there is a system, and if I apply these rules, I will be exactly 57% more likely to hit several jackpots on these machines? I would like to learn this. And please include the section about the mechanics and the game manufacturers, because I would like to learn about the different mechanical inner workings of each game. That's a green personality type. They love this type of stuff. Okay? The things that we talk about from an information standpoint, they love. And why wouldn't they? It's statistics and percentages and all of this type of stuff where you don't notice this a lot of times. But every single call we've done for the last 6 years always has an element of red, green, blue, or yellow. Okay? Now, some calls will be color dominant, like when we're doing a call about Feeding America, that's obviously a yellow dominant call. But then when we're talking about, okay, who's going to win the Ageless Athlete Challenge, it's a red dominant call. So you'll be able to, no matter who's on our call, nobody has ever been on one of the calls I've done personally, have never been on a call, and a person said, I took absolutely not one thing away from that call. Not one. I got absolutely nothing from that. It's never happened. And now we're pulling back the curtain to explain to you why. As leaders, when you start to incorporate the different color personality types into your presentations and into your calls and into your invitations and things like that, it is, yeah, me and Coach Mark has been teaching this since we learned it from Big Al a million years ago. It's something that our team always teaches. And even if people go to other companies, our teams know this stuff. Okay. That's why people love to poach y'all to get y'all to go to other companies, because those dummies don't have to train you. They don't know how to train anyway. They know if you leave this company, you're already trained. The problem is, and you know how to work and you know how to do stuff. The problem is a lot of times you may leave this company or not leave, because we also teach you about how to evaluate pay plans about twice a year. We teach you how to really look at the money. And that's why you don't hear a lot about Live Good anymore. It wasn't but 2 years ago, you couldn't turn your head to the left and not see a Live Good post on Facebook. Right when it came out, they had a bunch of people that weren't too bright from our team that tried to go over there, not realizing that there were people from Live Good coming to our company because they realized the money wasn't what they said it was. It doesn't matter. We said day one, I saw the comp plan. I heard what the owner said. I'm letting y'all know this money is not what you think it is, even if you work your guts out. It's just not, because this is what the pay plan is. And our company, most of our teams were like, oh, all right, we'll just ignore it. We won't ignore that. We won't ignore the noise. And now you can't even find a post on Live Good anywhere in the continental United States. Okay, ain't seen that in a long time. Long time. I heard that Don is already on to another company. He just left Live Good there to see what it does internationally. But I think he's already moving to his 6th network marketing company that he's starting with somebody. So we said that would happen. We've been doing this for a while. All right. So that being said, don't make the mistakes that we've made. Make your own mistakes, but don't make the mistakes that we already made. Just learn from those. All right. Like jumping from company to company and letting your ego get in the way of your money. That's crazy. Right. Now, another thing leaders do, a lot of leaders try to teach things that they've never done. please don't do that. If they've never launched the business and they have a launch, I didn't say join the business. I didn't say talk to a bunch of people. If they've never used a system to launch a new member's business or onboard a new member, don't teach stuff you've never done. All right, just don't do that. If something worked, that's a mistake leaders make. They will teach things that they've never done and then be shocked when it don't work. That's crazy. All right. Another thing leaders typically do, they talk about stuff that worked 10, 15, 20 years ago as if it worked today. New era, different platforms, different attention spans, different psychology, old methods that don't have any evolution or adaptation will kill themselves. Okay. It just doesn't really work. All right. Another thing that leaders do, and this is all things that leaders do, even if the leaders are doing really well, this just hurts their teams when they do these things. Okay. Leaders a lot of times have no real launch strategy. And we gave y'all a launch strategy step by step in Nashville. I hope you saw the recording. It's still there for another 30 days, according to Facebook, before they delete it. We gave you a step-by-step launch strategy that cannot fail because we use it in real life and we know it works. Telling people to post on social media and message some folks, that's not a launch strategy. That's not onboarding. Telling people just talk to some people, reach out to family and friends, that's not a launch strategy. All right, it's just totally different. That's basically abandonment. A real launch is going to have a structure. It's going to have a step-by-step sequence, and it's going to have momentum, okay? Another thing that happens is a lot of times people don't join because they never got the full story, all right? The full story about the industry, the company, or the products, all right? A lot of times people quit because they just don't, not because they don't believe in what we're doing. If people were even reminiscent of Vegas, they see that our team's products work, they see the way the money works, but sometimes they get confused. Okay, and it's easy to get confused if you join or get started and don't ever get asked a question like, what questions do you need answered before we really get started rolling? And do you have any questions before we really get it cranking and we plug into this system? Don't make assumptions. Don't skip steps. Don't give them half information until the new rep says you have answered every question or I don't have any more questions. That's when you can get started and start giving them homework assignments like 20 Reasons Why, like the business announcement text and some other things that we talked about, okay? Now, I'm going to give you another, and this one, I'm going to give you this one too. Another two deadly errors that people make. Not mastering lead generation. I didn't say buying ads or leads. Mastering lead generation. If you don't know how to post content on Facebook that has nothing to do with network marketing in a group or on your personal page or both, which is what I prefer, and you got a bunch of people that like or comment on your content because it's really good content, might be about the weather. If you don't have a copy paste script to message every new follower you have to get away to add, hey, Will, thanks so much for liking my posts. I really appreciate that. Okay. Or, hey, Will, thank you so much for following me. I really, really appreciate that. And then you can have some other stuff after that. Okay. But if you don't have some copy paste stuff directly to send to somebody, you're not generating as many free leads as you can on Facebook. Okay, I tell people this all the time. If you are a fan of the Boston Celtics, you should be in all 13 Boston Celtics groups, and you should be posting content about the Boston Celtics in at least 3 to 5 times a week. If you like, there's a group about possums. Y'all know the little animals, the little opossum? Right? The ones that play dead, they look like big hairy rats, but they're kind of cute in their own weird way. There's a group of possums. I didn't even know this, but I'm in a possum group. I don't know why. I don't have possums. I got dogs and cats and we got chickens and stuff. I posted something in the possum group and they got like 700 responses, comments, and everything. And here's the crazy part. It was an AI video of a possum that I got my little AI comment at the bottom of any AI video so people know it's AI. Nobody read that. Everybody thought it was a real possum eating some food in the yard at nighttime. it blew up. It blew up. It literally blew up. I've got hundreds of people that are now followers from a post about a possum. I never made that was my first post in that group ever. Okay. But when people follow me, I can just message them. Hey, Rick, thanks so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. Okay. Not sure how we're connected on here, but that's okay. I meet great people on Facebook all the time. So tell me, what do you do? Then Rick's going to tell me what he does. And if you ask somebody what they do and then they tell you what they do, what are they going to do next? What are they going to do next? If you ask somebody what they do in a very organic way, they're going to tell you what they do. What are they going to do next? They're going to ask you what you do. And then we have to have a copy paste script for that, which we also taught in Nashville. So it's chess, not checkers. If I know that I post content in a certain way in a certain group, it could be regular or AI or not, it doesn't matter. It can be a picture my daughter drew on the refrigerator, like everybody in the parent kids groups, like whatever. It doesn't really matter. Make it about the group though. People will typically like and comment on it if you do it right. And then once they do that, you know your next step is to reach out to them with a message, and you have to know what the message is going to say before they reach out. So you have to know what you're doing next. And once you tell them what you do for a living, like for me, I would say, well, I was in law enforcement for a little over a decade, but I was able to retire 30 years early because of this growing internet business. At that point, I just wait. I just want to see if the person says, A, nothing, B, congratulations on your retirement, or C, retired 30 years early. Wait, what's that all about? That is what all I want. That's all I want to see. It takes me 1, 2, 3, 4 steps to get there. But my point is, I'll get there with like maybe 15, 20% of people. That's awesome. That's awesome. 15, 20% of people, I'll take it. And then we can start the back and forth about exposing them to the business or the products or whatever. But that's just one example of lead generation. A mistake people make is they don't master lead generation fast enough so that they run out of people to talk to. They don't know how to get t-shirts with the QR code. They don't know how to wear buttons. They don't know how to generate leads out of thin air on Facebook. And so what a lot of people do is they buy ads or leads too early. I'm not saying never buy traffic or leads. I buy traffic every month. I buy leads every month, okay? We teach classes and systems on this stuff, but it's not for rookies. It's not for amateurs, even if it's only 30 some bucks a month. It is not for people to do day one because you even haven't talked to your friends and family already. Like you no way near you should have run out of people or anything like that, okay? So when people join, I'm going to give you a question that you can ask them, and then we'll move to some other things. We'll wrap up the call. Okay. I just want to give you all some training highlights about what it is that we were doing. On another call, we'll talk about the product training highlights we talked about, and in the pay plan stuff we talked about. We'll cover that probably next Sunday. But when someone joins, here's a question that I recommend you ask them early in the game. Okay. Once they're in, because at some point, everybody's got to choose. And this question is about accountability and whether or not it's okay for you to hold them accountable. And the question is this. We have a system on how to build this business. That's, we know it works, it's effective. But I got to ask you, do you want to do this on your own or do you want to use our system? There's no neutral, there's no in between, okay? There's not. When you ask them that question, do you want to build this business on your own or do you want to use our system? Notice I didn't say, do you want to build this business on your own or do you want our help? Because if you're doing it a stupid way, and I know it's stupid, I'm not going to help you because it's wasting my time and you're not going to win big. I got to let you do it because you're an adult and I'm only going to say it 1 or 2 times. Like, you sure you want to go this route? Like, there's another way. You sure this is how you want to do it? It's totally up to you. Totally up to you, how you want to do it. And so it becomes a matter of, do you want to do this on your own or do you want to use our system? Because if you're using our system, I don't care if it's Facebook messaging, home meetings, events, leads, drop call, what t-shirt, buttons. If you're using our system, you picking something from the universal things that we use, yes, I'm going to help you because that stuff works. And if it didn't work, we wouldn't do it. Okay. So training matters, repetition matters, environment matters, and belief follows exposure. Okay. The people who were at the event, their belief went from here to here in the area of the products. Well, probably here, honestly. Their belief went from here to here in the area of the pay plan. Their belief went from here to here in how to build the business. And if you were there in person and you got a chance to get your life impacted by those audios, which cost $1,000 a piece, and they were so much more than that. It's better than any therapy I could ever pay to go to. It's amazing. And y'all know that. If you were there, you know it. With the audios, your belief and confidence in yourself went from here to here. Belief follows exposure. That's why these events are so important. That's why when I'm in Dallas, Texas, in February, you should be there. And if the Dallas team puts anything together, just a little mini meeting or whatever, you should be there because belief follows exposure. We already know what Atlanta gonna do. Okay, you should be there at the mini meeting in Atlanta and probably in Roswell if I had to guess, because they always put together something amazing in Roswell. You should be there. Okay, that's just what you got to understand. So I don't know what Sulfur International is, but Copay, no idea who Sulfur International is. But hey, Sulfur International, anybody knows who that is? Let me know. I have no idea what they're talking about. Okay, but Sulfur International sounds cool. Whatever that is, sounds cool. All right, now let's move. Let's do this as we get to wrap up the call. Let's talk about some slot machine stuff. Oh, and that's it. That's it for from a Tiffany Scott. Hey, Tiffany Scott, what up, T? And you do not owe me a copay, Tiffany. Why would you even say that? I have no idea why she would say that. Let me think. There's two things I want to talk about. Just slot machines? Yeah, I guess so. I don't think we're gonna have time to talk about the lead program tonight. We'll do it another night. Let's talk about some slot machines. And again, if you don't train, y'all can hop off the call. If you are the type of person who's never going to go to a casino in your life ever, you don't need to be on the call for the rest of this. We love y'all. Thank you so much. Y'all have a good night. We will see y'all tomorrow at 7 o'clock on the testimonial call, which is absolutely amazing. Oh, well, if y'all thought those audios were good, y'all ain't heard the next 5. Y'all haven't heard the next 5. There's a whole another set that builds upon that and goes to an absolutely crazy limitless level. And I can tell you, because I've been through all of them repeatedly, yeah, we're gonna have to bust those out for the next event, maybe this first year. We'll figure it out. But it was amazing. All right. So Coach Seymour said he's not going, but he's gonna stay on. He let me tell you why Coach Seymour not going to the casino. Because he worked there for like 30 billion years. If he never saw another casino again, he wouldn't be mad. All right. So here we go. And the reason why I'm qualified to tell y'all this little 10-minute casino spiel is because when I used to work in law enforcement, one of my stints in law enforcement was I worked with the Gaming Commission in Louisiana when they were really getting rolling. And I didn't know any of this before I started, but the Gaming Commission, oddly enough, they have a law enforcement arm that I was on for a year or two. And we used to have to go to casinos in Louisiana, the Gulf Coast, in that area. And we used to have to inspect stuff. We used to have to, if they missed the first 2 audios, you probably missed all 3. I don't know how you would have got the 3rd audio unless somebody was being shady. But again, the 3rd one won't do you much good if you didn't build off the first 2. But we'll see. But that being said, and so I realized that these games gotta pay out. That was rule number 1 when I first learned that slot machines have to pay out. They have to pay out. Now, when they pay out and how much they pay out is going to be different, but they do have to pay out at some point. That's a fact. All right, you just got to understand that. Now, once you understand that, you can understand rule number 2. Start to learn what machines to avoid. This is huge. The number 1 type of machine to avoid to me is going to be a branded machine. So that's rule number 1. Have the mental mindset to have the confidence to know that all machines got to pay out. How much or when or how is up for debate. Depends on the machine. We'll talk about that, but they got to pay out. Rule number 2, avoid branded machines. If it's a Wheel of Fortune machine, if it's a Casper the Friendly Ghost, if it's the Incredible Hulk, not the knockoff Incredible Hulk, but the real Incredible Hulk on anything that is a TV show, a famous person's name, face, image, or likeness, like the Price is Right slot machines, Anything like that, movies, music, song, Gone with the Wind slot machine that's really from the movie. I don't care how good the machines look. Do not play those. Well, why, Will? They got big jackpots, blah, 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 blah. They also have royalties they got to pay. They have licensing fees they have to pay for the entirety lifetime of the machine. Because they have to pay those royalties and licensing fees, that's all comes into the payout. Okay, so those machines are a lot less likely to ever pay you anything significant because so much of that money has to go to the company that they're using the name, image, and likeness of. So we just avoid those altogether, and that'll eliminate 10% of the machine. So you already increase your chances of winning by 10%, if not more, by knowing what not to sit down at. And I mean ever. I'm not saying they never win, but the odds are so ridiculously out of your control. You even when they do, so much of that money doesn't go to you. It's license fees and royalties, right? Number three, this is probably the most important. This is huge, huge rule right here. The rule of three. You should always use this. This is very important because machines have a cool period and a warm period. So the third rule is going to be the rule of three. If you don't get at least 3 small wins in the first 10 to 15 spins, it's time to go. That machine not about to hit. This is not about to hit. If you don't get 3 wins within the first 10 to 15, I would say 15 spins, it's probably time to go. It's just not, it might give you a little something. It's not the machine that's going to hit. It's not going to hit today. You're not at the right time on that machine, not then. And don't start thinking, I just need to keep going. Don't you do that. When you sit down at a machine, it's not a branded machine. We'll talk about other stuff to place. But if you don't get at least 3 small wins within the first 10 to 15 spins, it's time to go. All right. Might even get 2, but it's time to go. No, no. All right now. Now, another rule is this. And I put this one, when I want to add this one. I don't want to leave this one. Oh, okay, I'm going to switch this one up. So this is going to be rule number 4. It's going to be another type of the rule of 3. Very, very important. Once you get a small win, a win of any size, but a small one for sure. If you don't get a small win within 3 spins of that first win, time to go. So let's say you're at the machine and you do 15 spins because you have your bankroll, whatever amount you're going to start off with, $25, $30 at the most. You don't need more than $30, 40 at the most to make this work. Coach Seymour gave a great rule. I'm going to put that in as a bonus rule, Coach. I have never put that in here. Don't go to no ATMs, man. If you go to ATM to get your bankroll, whatever that is, that's it for the day, no matter what. That's it. But we'll get back to that in a second. So when you sit down at a machine, let's say your bankroll is $35. It shouldn't be, you don't need more than 20 or 40. Anything more than that, if you got money, and you really go in there with a couple hundred, you can do that. But cap it before you walk in. But I'm telling you, with these rules, you don't need more than $35, give or take, 40 at the most, to really see some significant wins. But let's go. You sit down at the machine, you pick your machine, and I'm going to give you some other things about what machine to pick in a second. You got 10 to 15 spins. And Shauna said here, it's not just that they charge an arm and leg at the ATM, which they do. It's not just that. It's the fact that that's when people spend all their bill money. When they start going to the ATM, that's what Cosimo was talking about. When they start going to the ATM, that's a bad sign. And I was in law enforcement, he was in security, so that's law enforcement. We was both dang near in the same role, but he was more in the investigation detective side. He's seen people the same way I've seen people go to the ATM at the casino and lose everything. They got to wait 2 weeks for a check from their job. They lose everything. It is bad. I've seen it before, okay? So when he says don't go to the ATM, he means once you set your $20 bankroll for that day, leave it. That's it. We don't go to the ATM, all right? All right. But Shauna's right, too. The fees are ridiculous at casino ATMs. I've had to go to them before. I had to pay. Thank you, Lynette. Lynette was our unofficial camera person for the live. So if y'all attended online, y'all could show Lynette some love. So I wanted to compensate Lynette for doing such a great job. And so I went to the ATM And it was like I was getting out a certain amount. It was a lot for the little ATM charge fees, plus with my bank charge. It was crazy. So yeah, Shonda's not wrong. All right. Now, if you sit on that machine and you don't get at least 3 small wins within the first 15, it's time to go. But if you do, once you get past that 15 and you're doing some spins and you get a win, which you'll probably get another win because that machine's heating up, it's ready to roll. If you get a win, and this is after your set of 15 that you really use, just kind of figure the machine out. Because you might spend $3 or $4 just figuring out if that machine is hot or not. And if it's not, you go on to another machine. But if you deplete your whole bankroll, it's time to go home anyway. Now, once you get a win of any type, and you've already at that warm-up period, the 15 spins is done. This is a very important rule. When you get another win, which you probably will, if you don't get at least a small win, after 3 spins after a win, it's time to go. Okay? I'm going to say that again. It's so important. That'll be rule number 4 for tonight. If you don't get at least a small win within 3 spins of a win, time to go. Okay? Not necessarily leave the casino. You might have $30 left on your bankroll. It's time to leave that machine. All right? Let's move on. Number 5. Machine placement is not random. Pick machines not right at the front entrance or right by the exit, not right at the exit. Those machines, the ones right by the exit, rarely win. Why? Because those are the machines that people are leaving the casino. Oh, I got $5. Let me go throw in this one and see what happens. Those machines are designed to take your last $5 or $10. We don't play those. You want to look for machines that are facing walkways with high foot traffic areas. You can play a corner machine if it is in a high foot traffic area and preferably facing the foot traffic area. And if you look, you need to be able to see at least one camera, preferably more, in the direct line of sight of that machine. Why? Because if the casino knows what manufacturers are sending, what games are going to win, they're going to put the games that are going to hit the jackpots during prime time in full view of people in high traffic walkways, not by the exit. They leave it anyway. Not right by the entrance. They just coming in. They got to get acclimated to the lights. It's going to be middle of the casino, but the high foot traffic areas, preferably facing areas of large visibility, that when you hit a jackpot and the sound start going off, everybody turns and looks or stops walking and looks. That is on purpose. That's by design. So rule number 5 is machine placement is not random. If you find a machine tucked off in a corner somewhere that's isolated, don't think you done found a gem, some diamond in the rough that's just going to hit a jackpot. I'm sure people went on those at some point, but we don't do all that because we know that's not where the casinos are putting the winning machines, and they move their machines around all the time specifically for that reason. All right. Number 6, the timing of when you go. Pretty much any time on the weekend is good for a win. Casinos know that. They want the winning machines out there when it's packed. But if you're going to go during the weekday, I recommend somewhere between 5 and 8. Sometimes you can do 4 to 9, but I wouldn't stretch it past that. Okay? That is just statistically, for whatever reason, that is the time most winning happens. The late afternoon, early evening on the weekdays up until about 8 or 9, and the weekends are pretty much good. Early mornings and late nights are typically not good for winning. That's working against the natural rhythm of the casino and the natural rhythm of maximum foot traffic, and that's not what the casinos want to do. If the machines got to pay out at some point, they want it to pay out with maximum leverage so they can leverage it with the most eyeballs on that win. Put 1 in the chat if that makes perfect sense now that you hear it. If it makes perfect sense, put a 1 in the chat. It just makes perfect sense, all right? So we covered machines got to pay out, avoid the branding machines. We covered the 3 small wins rule, 10 to 15 spins. If you don't get another win within 3 spins after you get a win, time to go. And we covered machine placement, and we also covered the timing of when you should go if you're going to go, okay? The next one is going to be when you sit down at the machine, when you pick a machine, you avoid the wrong ones and you find one in the right spot and you sit down. Take a sit rep and just sit down at the machine for a minute and take some deep breaths and just kind of get a feel for the area. Just try to, it sounds weird until you do it, but people who go into the casinos, you know how this feels. How does the energy feel on the floor? Okay. Look and listen for small wins. You want to just hear some sounds going off somewhere, even if it's not at your machine. Is this a good, before I start putting some money in this machine and start doing some things, is this a good time for me to be here? If not, you may need to switch casinos. If not, you may need to switch to a different machine. Just sit down and try to get a good feel for it intuitively. It's a small emotional feeling you'll get. A lot of people who win, they'll tell you, I knew I was going to win on that. I don't know if Rasan's on the call or not. Rasan had a pretty nice chunk of change. I know Anthony Stone had a couple $100 too that he hit. A couple Kenya too. I think they all said, I just kind of felt it. I just knew that I was the right spot on this one. That's a certain type of intuition. It is what it is. Okay. I'm going to say this one again. I said it before, but it's worth repeating. If you get 0 wins within your first 10 to 15 spins, you walk no matter what. You walk no matter what. Natasha, why are you saying a nerve or a sign? He was just following the rule. You got the same rules he got. All right.
Listen,
Here's another rule. Yeah. Why are you mad at Rasan?
because I was on my machine that I like to play, and he said, I'm just going to sit right next to you and I'm just going to play this machine. And he
Yeah.
just sat down. He put in his $20 and he played the minimum. And on his third spin, 3 spins at 88 cents, he just hit the max. I sat there and looked at him and he used his prosperity oil. And
Of
then when
course
we
he
went
did.
over to the new machines, here he come dabbing some on me then. I said, you know what? Get out of here, Razan.
Well, I don't know if they have no casinos in Atlanta, but if they do, he got to make it up to you. That's Rasan though.
Yes,
Smooth, get lucky.
yes.
So thank you for sharing that. Let's wrap this up, y'all. We about 10 minutes past. Thank you, Natasha. I was wondering why she mad at Rasan. All right. Here it is. The most important rule. The most important rule on this same thing. All right. Most important rule. And see people in the comments are talking about they little wins they got. And if they went back the next day or the next day or the next day, they would just keep getting more because you just follow these rules. Walking away is the most important rule of gambling. Do not get emotional. The win lock rule is very important, and that means that you make your bankroll back. For example, if my bankroll that day, Rasan's was $20, because if you ain't got $20, you don't need to be gambling. His bankroll was $20. When and if you don't make 20 that day, hey, okay, cool. We're not going to the ATM for another 20. It's over. That session is over. You'll try again next time if you want. But if you do make beyond the 20, which a lot of our team members did, they made their money back relatively quickly. That is what me personally, I would cash that out. I would cash that out, or I would, even if you can't cash it out because they won't let you, some machines will let you cash out some money and leave the rest in. I would mentally cash it out. You got to be strong enough to say, if I came here with 20, I'm up 50. Okay. I'm not going underneath 20. I'm making my money back. Boom. I made my money back. I'm good. I've doubled my money. I got my $40, 20 in, and the 20 I brought in, $40. I got another 10 to keep playing with. Cool. Cool. Okay. Cash it out. Never, once you make your $20 back, you got that extra 20 or 30 in profit. You can double it, play with the 10, or you can play with the 30. But see that money you got back? You never touch that ever again. That is a huge rule. Kenya said right here, she cashed out on every win, no matter what the payout. You got to understand that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no penalty for that, okay? But that's the most important rule. Plus, when you make your money back and you lock it away, it removes the pressure, okay? And that brings us to our next rule. We'll talk about this one again. It was so important. I'll say it again. If you don't get, this is after your 10 to 15 spin intro to the machine. That's when you decide what you're going to stay there or not. Once you get a win, if you do not get a win within, of any size, within 3 spins after a win, that's a sign that the machine is cooled off. That's when you walk away. Okay. Here's another one. Very, very important. Walk away when you feel good. Okay. Walk away when you feel good. Okay. You can't control the wins. You can control the spins. You can control when you walk away. Now, here's a great part too, because Seymour just gave you all the bonus. It says, don't play when you're intoxicated. Well, why? They're bringing us these free drinks. Them drinks ain't free. Somebody on that floor has lost enough money to pay for them drinks 10 times over. When we're intoxicated, we typically have slower reaction times. We have dulled processing information times. We get more emotional too. People get very emotional. There's a reason why you get free drinks. So they get emotional. Okay. When you have alcohol in your system, that's why they bring you the free drinks. So what I personally recommend, I never drink while I'm on the floor actually gambling. After I'm done with my session, however it went, that is when I will have drinks. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But while I'm actually, because I'm trying to use these rules and identify stuff, okay, to make money. All right, that's how that goes. But I'm not going there to make money. I'll tell you why I'm going, and that'll be the last rule that we cover tonight. All right, there's a bunch more we'll cover tomorrow, maybe. Never, ever gamble to win money. That's not a winning mindset. Never gamble with money you can't afford to lose, okay? I want you to understand that the mindset of a gambler who wins, I can't remember, I'm to be honest, I cannot remember the last time I went to a casino and played, it didn't come out up. I can't even remember the last time it happened. It's been 10, 15 years, at least 10, okay? I don't go to the casino to win money. There's no pressure on me to win money at casino. I go to casino, especially in Vegas, because I like the environment. I'm gonna be honest. I like to people watch. Okay. I like the colors and the lights and the sounds. Okay. When I go there, I'll get free perks and free rooms. One casino, when I was in Vegas, sent me an email that knew I was in town. They gave me $100, 100 free spins. So it ends up being $100 worth of spins for free. Free spins. So I won about 90 some dollars. And then I cash it out. I didn't spend none of my money, not a dime. So I only won like 90 some bucks, but that's a free 90 some bucks. Okay. I'm like Kenya. I love the environment. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the 70s and 80s. I don't smoke, but people smoked back then. I'm very familiar with that. You know what I'm saying? It just reminds me of a simpler time when people were smoking on airplanes. And I don't advocate smoking. I'm not a smoker. I've never smoked a cigarette my entire life. But my point is, I do just like the environment, people just wearing what they want to wear. You got people coming through with suits on. You got other people looking like they just walked off the street. I just like the environment, the pretty lights, the drinks, the food, the ambiance. I just enjoy the Strip. I enjoy Fremont. I enjoy the Vegas Strip. I enjoy the Gulf Coast casinos. I enjoy WinStar in Oklahoma. I go because I enjoy the environment. And then in the casino, I met so many cool people, so many people I connected with or reconnected with that have to be in there. And Kenya's right. It is a total non-judgmental state, totally non-judgmental. Ain't nobody stunting about you. Everybody's focused on what they got going on. Yeah, people was in their pajamas at that joint. Okay? All right? Clarence say his mom going to Vegas all night. Not mad at it. All right? Not mad at that at all. And it's the amenities. Okay? It was just fun. Look, she said right there. Linda said she was given $80 free slot play from Treasure Island, walked away with $150. Because when you get that free slot play, they think you don't know what machines to play. But because you know, it doesn't surprise me that Linda got a free $150, cashed it out, and walked away. It doesn't surprise me at all. Same reason I got $93 and cashed it out and walked away. All right. So that being said, we do have some other rules of this. I'm hesitant to teach this in a class or not. I don't want to wait till another. I'll figure it out. I'll sleep on it and figure it out. But there's another 8 or 9 rules that will help you. It'll be about the manufacturers, how much to bet each spin. A lot of people don't know how much to bet each spin, when to go up, when to go down. That's machine dependent, and I want to show you how to read that. How to win at the big jackpot machines and things like that. And these work at all different casinos. And then there's one thing, I probably will have to teach this. There's one thing when you sit down at a machine, if you don't do this and you miss this step, if it's one of those big jackpot machines, if you do this, it's not a guarantee you win the big jackpot. But if you don't do this, it's a guarantee you won't, even if you put $100,000 in that machine, because certain manufacturers make those big jackpot machines. There's something you got to do on those that if you don't do it, you will not win that jackpot, the big one, they put it right in the middle with all the lights. You will not win that jackpot, even if you put in 100,000, because you didn't do the thing that turns on the jackpot in the machine. Something very specific you have to do, and it's machine dependent. We'll talk about that another day. Yeah, we got to teach that in the class. That's fine. All right, so that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if we do have the interest for the class, I will figure it out and do it maybe tomorrow. I don't know, but we'll see. May save it for the next event. I don't know. Y'all already know enough to be great. All right, know this one ran long. Thank y'all so much for your time. I appreciate y'all. Any questions we got, by all means, let me know. If you have any questions at all about anything we covered tonight, put that in the chat right now. Otherwise, we are out of here. I'm going right back to work. We got $20,000 on the line, and I don't know how some of y'all even sleep at night without going hard toward that, because we'll close the call with this. If you get a $20,000 bonus in your network marketing company, or even if you get halfway there and you get $10,000 at HBM Money, and you get that in about a month, do you know how crazy it looks to everybody at your job, everybody in your family, and everybody on your social media list? If you got a screenshot, if you can just say, I made over $10,000 this month with my network marketing company. Some of you most of you have never done that before, and this will be your year to do it. But I can just tell you, it only takes one good month to have a really good year. But some of you are negotiating the price of success. You're playing small, as in, I'm going to take it seriously when things settle down. I'm going to take it seriously next month. I'm going to take it seriously after this event, before the next one. I'm going to take it seriously if they come to my hometown. I'm going to be at 100 BV Auto Ship. I'm going to take it seriously if I do AB. If you understood the power of you just having a big win just in January, next 2 weeks, let's say you just went all out, you and your team went all out, you made it work, and you end up with a $10,000 month in January, probably February, but let's say you do in January, because it can be done. My record, not this isn't the company record, my record in commissions, I think it's about $26,000 or $29,000 in a day. I made a video about that when it happened. It was crazy. It doesn't happen all the time, obviously. I know it wasn't 30. I think it was either 26, 29,000 in one day. Now, that was really awesome. And that was HBN and GoToSign. It was a really cool, perfect storm of stuff that happened to pay that out. My point is, even if I had made 20,000 in a month or 10,000 in a month, not 29,000 in a day, I could tell that story for the rest of the year. Hey man, I don't know if you're interested or not. I just made $10,000 this month. If you want to learn how I did it, by all means, let me know. If all I did was go hard one time and make $10,000 in January, right now you got about 2 weeks left in the month, man, look, I made $10,000 in 2 weeks, man. If you ever want to learn how I did it, by all means, I'll let you know. If not, I'll see you later. But hey, Jeff, man, I know, random question, but I was so excited. I made $10,000 this month in my online business. If you want to know how I did it, by all means, let me know. I'll get you the information. That's it. That's it. You will be able to talk to people for the rest of the year, and you leverage that, and people will join. It doesn't even have to be nothing that big. My point is, if it was, you literally can leverage 1 month work of really good results for the rest of the year by just teaching that one thing that you did, and you try to run that up. It's totally up to you. All right. I like leveraging stuff like that. I think 1 good month can make 1 good year. I know 1 good month can make 1 good year, but you got to figure out that for yourself and be confident enough to go get it. All right. So that being said, y'all have a good night. We will see y'all on Monday. Thank you so much for your time. And yeah, I think that's all we got. Thank you.